Hey folks, welcome back to Canada's Boxing Channel. So, the last video I made, I ended with some comments about Ricky Hatton. And I said I wanted to get my thoughts together before I shared them with people who watch this channel. And I think I've mostly got my thoughts organized. For anybody who doesn't know what I'm talking about, Ricky Hatton announced via Zoom the other day that he was going to make a comeback. He's going to fight on December the 2nd this year, Isa Al-Da. I think that's how his name is pronounced, who has got 8 wins, 3 losses. Of those 8, 4 came by way of. He's 46 years old. This is the good news story. We've got 40-something-year-old men fighting 40-something-year-old men. But that's kind of where the good news story ends as far as I'm concerned. Let's just take a moment to have a little bit of a synopsis of Ricky Hatton's career. Stockport's own, competed from 1997 till 2012, I guess. He competed at light welter, the 140, and at welter, the 147. In 2000, he won the British light welter championship, and then he became the WBU champion. Now, the WBU was founded in the mid-90s, and it went belly up, I believe, in 2004. But of course, that wasn't Ricky's only claim to fame. In fact, it really, his finest moment came when he beat the great Costa Tszyu, who did not come out for the last round. He then combined to become unified the WBA and IBF. And in that same year, 2005, Ricky Hatton was the Rings, ESPN, and I think the Boxing Writers Association of America Fighter of the Year. So if you like, Ricky Hatton's career absolutely peaked in 2005. That's a long time ago, right? That's 20 years ago. In 2006, Ricky Hatton moved to welterweight. In 2007, he lost to Floyd Mayweather. It was a 10th round TKO, and that was at 147, right? Now, of course, in between, I'm going to talk about his next defeat, but there were wins, right? Ricky Hatton's only ever lost 3 times, so let's get that clear, right? In 2009, in what you might want to say was his career-ending fight, he dropped back down to 140 and he fought Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao destroyed him in 2 rounds. So at this point, 2009, Ricky Hatton, who turned pro in 97, he'd been a 12-year veteran. He'd been a champion at 2 weights and on more than 1 occasion. He loses to one of the greatest fighters of the era, Manny Pacquiao. He'd also been beaten by another great fighter of the era, possibly the greatest of that era, Floyd Mayweather Jr. So there's no shame here. You've lost to 2 first ballot Hall of Fame guys, right? The problem is, Ricky Hatton tries to come back in 2012. He takes another loss. You would think that this is where we draw a nice line under Ricky Hatton's career. Ricky Hatton, MBE, the darling of Manchester, beloved fighter, especially in Britain. And on this point, I want to say, of course, I was not living in Britain at any point during Ricky Hatton's career. And so I'm speaking from the perspective of a foreign boxing fan. Okay? There's going to be a lot of people who are really wrapped up in Ricky Hatton. A lot of people in the UK, a lot of people watching this, be big Ricky Hatton fans. And that's great. Ricky Hatton deserves to be loved and respected by his fans. But I never did get tied up with all the hoopla because, of course, I'm an ocean and a continent away. So I look at it a little bit more, maybe dispassionately, maybe. And so now we're at 2009. He's been beaten by Manny Pacquiao. He makes his comeback in 2012. It doesn't work out. He retires again. That would be a good spot to end this and say, yeah, he's great. Like, he had a wonderful career. He's now on the after-dinner circuit. He's also involved in boxing promotions, and he was very interested in his son's career, Campbell Hatton. So why is he coming back? Why is he coming back to fight somebody who I'd never heard of? Why is he doing it in, I think it's Abu Dhabi? What's going on here? What's going on inside the head of Ricky Hatton? Is it because, like many men, as they age, they want that one final sort of try to recapture youth? It's something that seems to have a disproportionate effect on boxers versus other athletes. You don't often see former track stars making a comeback. You see some other sports, but it seems that boxing this is boxing, right? I mean, so many great champions have made comebacks, and the majority of them have not had the dream ending that they and their fans wanted. I know from reading, the same as anybody else, like I have no inside knowledge here, that Ricky Hatton has suffered with substance problems, alcohol, and apparently cocaine. It sort of messed his head up, right? I think the losses to Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao, and then that loss in 2012, I can't remember the guy's name. I'm really sorry. I can't remember. They really ate away at Ricky's psyche, maybe. And so you have to ask, if you care about somebody, just as a human being, you don't have to be a big fan of Ricky Hatton here, just as a human being, if you care about somebody, do you want to see a 46-year-old man make a comeback after an absence of 13 years? I don't know. I don't. And it's not because I don't think he's going to put on a good performance. For what it's worth, I don't think he is going to put on a good performance, but that's not the point. The point is, at closer to 50 than you are 40, head blows, the training, the sparring, the actual fight itself, there's a concussive effect that I just don't believe that 46-year-old people can take in the same way that a 26-year-old person can take it, right? And here's a news flash. It ain't going to get better. It's not like, 46, I'm a bit rough, but by the time I'm 48, I'll have my man strength. Sorry, I don't know disrespect to anybody who that's been said about. So for me, I would say the people close to Ricky Hatton ought to really be asking some very serious questions about, what is it up here that's making him want to do this? And is there something else he could do that doesn't involve getting punched in the face? Or the body, for that matter. It's the best part of 20 years ago that I was 46, but I do remember that at 46, I was not the man I was at 36. These things are progressive, right? So I, of course, do not want to see Ricky Hatton get in the ring. I don't want to see Manny Pacquiao get in the ring. Manny Pacquiao's making a comeback as well, as we know, at a much, much higher level. I just don't want to see it. I don't want to see any fighter, to be honest with you, over 40 in the ring. And I know there are some great fighters over 40. Yes, I do. Berturbiev, Zhang is still active. Foreman won a title when he was he 44 or 45 against Michael Moore. Archie Moore carried on. I know. I think of those as outliers. The average former elite fighter is no longer an elite fighter at 46. And if they get hurt, it's a tragedy. It really is. I mean, how much money do people need? I mean, we could talk for hours about that, right? I have no idea how much money Ricky Hatton has. I suspect that if he and I were to swap bank balances, I would be ecstatic. And he probably wouldn't. So, I mean, do you need more money? Sure, maybe he doesn't have the money he used to have. Well, really, like that's true for a lot of us, right? But how much do you need? What price health? It's a great question. It's a question you hear a lot, but you don't actually hear people really think. I mean, not here. You don't always see people really thinking about it. It's almost like a throwaway line. But truly, like as fans, do we want to support what is effectively middle-aged men fighting in the ring, risking their lives? Not this fan. I would rather remember Ricky Hatton in 2005, to be perfectly honest. I'm not interested in seeing whatever he can do this year. You know, Father Time remains undefeated. So those are my thoughts. And I'm not mocking, I'm not making any disparaging comments here. I'm just really hoping that, okay, maybe this Al Dal, he can have a bit of a move around to satisfy his commitments December the 2nd, make it look like an exhibition. I don't know. But then call it a day. For real, seriously. You don't want to be getting hit in the head, right? You'd like to be as switched on as you are today when you're 65. I don't think getting hit in the head lots of times between 46 and 65 is the ideal way to be a relatively cognitively functional senior citizen. That's my view. Your mileage may vary. Let me know in the comments section what you think. Please like, please share, please subscribe as per usual. And hopefully my voice will every day get a little bit better, and so you don't have to listen to me coughing and barking on these videos. Thanks so much for watching. Wherever you are, have a fabulous day. Bye-bye.